Hi lovelies, welcome back to the channel Style by C. Today's tutorial will be on how to recreate this infinite dress skirt. Do subscribe, share to friends, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and kindly watch. Thank you. So guys, now we're going to be we're going to draft out the skirt part of this gown first. It's an infinity dress actually. So the skirt part is 24 inches plus 2 inches seam allowance. Okay, the actual length of the gown I'm working with is 40 inches. Okay, so when I remove my half length, I have 24 inches left plus 2 inches seam allowance. So this is my start point, which is going to serve as my waist. All right, so from here down, I'm going to mark 9 inches. That is where my hip measurement is going to be. Okay, so on the waistline now, you go ahead and insert your waist measurement plus your seam allowance. All right, same here, you insert your hip measurement plus your seam allowance. Okay, so having done that, I'm going to connect the waist and the hip together. This is what I have. Then from here I'm going to connect to the down parts of my skirt. Okay, so my hip measurement was 9.5 inches, which is here. So I'm going to be adding like 1 inch to it. All right, then you connect it to the bottom part. So this is what we have. We'll go ahead and cut this piece out now. So having done this, we use this to cut out our back piece. So guys, now I'm going to cut out my back piece. I left about 1.5 inches spacing for my zipper allowance. Every other thing remains the same. The only difference is just for the zip, the allowance for your zip. So go ahead and cut it out. So this is what we have, and we'll slit this zip open up, notch the center here. Alright. Now we're going to be cutting the upper part proper. So guys, now I'm going to talk on how to cut the infinity side. That's the upper part that has the wrap part of the dress. Okay, so what you have to do now is you're going to divide your bust measurement by 4. So now my bust measurement is 35 inches. When I divide it by 4, my bust measurement is 34 inches, sorry. When I divide it by 4, I have 8.5 inches. Okay, so I'm going to be using 8 inches, but I'm going to add extra 4 inches to it, so that by the time I fold the two sides, hem the two sides of the wrap we're going to cut out, I'm going to be arriving at 10 inches. All right, so you can see decide to add just 2 inches, but I'm adding 4 inches to avoid like the wrap being too small, not being able to cover my boobs very well. So that's why I'm working with 12 inches. Okay, I'm going to go ahead now and cut it. And the length I'm going to be working with, I'm going to be using like 2 years of fabrics. All right, that's the length. It's going to be 72 inches. Though you can make yours as long as you want. All right. So now my material is not that long. What I have here is about 45 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and join extra fabric to the bottom part. After I'm done, the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do is to hem the sides, the both sides. So guys, the next thing I'm going ahead to cut out now is my band that is going to be at the waist area. So the band is going to be like 5 inches bold, but when you open it up, it's going to be about, when you fold it, it's going to be about 2.5 inches on a fold. Okay. So when I fold it in, I'll have 2.5 inches. So after cutting it this way, I'm also going to fold it and slit it open, because we're going to be passing. So I'm going to fold it this way and cut it in between. So I'm going to have 2.5 inches, 2.5 inches. So guys, at this point now, I'm gonna head to turn out my skirt pieces with a lining, and this is what I have. Okay, and I've also marked my shape line, so I'm going to go ahead and run a stitch on my shaping line. So the next thing we're going to be working is on the upper part. So this is our two ties. I'm also going to head to hem the side pieces, the side. Okay, so what you're going to do now is you're going to place one on top of the other to overlap. All right, so let's assume this is what we did here, an overlap between these 2 points. Okay, and this is what I have. So I'm going to pin it together. They overlaps each other with 3 inches. That is what I have here. All right, now you're going to introduce your band. Remember we cut out a band earlier. So this is our band. You're going to find the center point of your band. So I'm going to fold it into two to get the center point. So if you have an air stay or a gum stay, go ahead and attach it to one side of your band. Like we have two bands, attach it on one. Okay, but for this tutorial I'm doing, I'm not using any air stay or gum stay. But if you're making for a client, go ahead and use an air stay to give it that stiffness. So this is my center point now. This is where I have my center piece. All right, so I'm going to place it here at the center here where they overlapped. So I'm going to place it there. Still hold it down with that pin. All right, now I'm also going to bring the second band. I'm also going to notch the center of it. And this is the center of my band. Okay, so now I'm going to place it beneath this particular one I have here now. So I'm going to place this way and place it together with the first one. So having done this now, what you have to do is you're going to go ahead and run a stitch on it. So starting from this center piece, now I'm going to run a stitch and close it up to this end. The same thing here, I'm also going to run a stitch here and close it up to the other end. So at this point now, we're going to have to run a stitch on that one. Now to join to our skirt, there is two ways to do it. Either you pick it up this way, center to center. This is our skirt after shaping. So center to center, you join it to your band and the upper piece. Or first of all, you run a stitch on one using one of this band, then use the other one to cover it up. Okay, so for this now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead, place it center to center and join the two together, because I'm going to be using an interlock machine to weave the rough edges. Okay, so if you're not weaving your own, what you have to do is run a stitch on this first, the first layer first, then use the second one to close it up. So guys, when I was done, this is what I have. Okay, these are skirt parts and this is our tie. So you go ahead and style it anyhow you want to style it, just like what we have in the pictures. Okay, so this is what it is. Thank you so much for watching. Do share, subscribe and give us a thumbs up.